Final game of day number 2. Two teams will fight for their first win of the 25th anniversary of the Paradise Jam after dropping tight contest yesterday right here at the Eldridge Blake Sports and Fitness Center at the University of the Virgin Islands. It's the Zags versus the Lady Raiders. Gonzaga was in the Sweet 16 last year. Texas Tech, 3 of the 6 transfers in the NCAA tournament. As we welcome you courtside alongside the coach Kevin Lehman. I am Brad Wells, and coach, they're going to need that NCAA tournament energy and intensity in this one today.
Coming off 32 wins, a school record for the Gonzaga. They're going to go against a lot of pressure from Texas Tech, and Tech, can they bounce back from their first loss? Both these teams had some really good spurts in yesterday's game. Can they build upon it today?
All right, let's take a look at a couple of key players as we begin with the young freshman in Allie Turner for the Zags. Coach, the St. Louis native, got it going yesterday.
Well, the freshman phenom, she is so good that her coach, Lisa Fortier, ran a three-point play for her late in the game in that tight contest against Missouri State. She's good at everything she does. And her international teammate says she's even good at imitating our accents. That's the type of talent she has. And here's we're looking at Moffitt from Texas Tech. She comes from a town of Gruber, Texas in West Texas. Population 1,130. They call it West Texas tough. And this gal is tough.
Grew up on a ranch and now leading the Lady Raiders. Let's take a look at some keys to the game, coach. Begin with Gonzaga. What do you need to see from the Bulldogs?
They're going to have to handle the pressure. 18 turnovers against Missouri State. Look for some ways to release that pressure, and you do it by playing the second and third side. Look for them to lift the defense off the baseline and get some back cuts from the wing.
All right, and for the Texas Tech Lady Raiders, where do you start?
They got to value the possessions. 25 turnovers against Florida State, and they had a really slow start. They were down 16-5, were able to play even or ahead after that. The Lady Raiders need to get off to a good start today against a really solid team from Gonzaga.
All right, new starting lineups for both teams we'll get to as we get things underway, but Gonzaga Bulldogs 4-3 underneath head coach Lisa Fortier for the Texas Tech Lady Raiders. 6-1 on the year under the direction of Krista Gerlich, dropping their first game of the season last night to a Florida State team receiving votes and just put up 97 points here in game number 2 for the Seminoles in the Paradise Jam, defeating Missouri State 97-66.
I really like the way that Texas Tech responded after that really slow start. They kind of got their feet underneath them, got their game plan, and able to play against Florida State even the rest of the way out.
Our officials for tonight's game, Sarah Williams, Brandon Enterline, and Kara Hunter. As Edgem and Sonogo in the center circle. And Ivana Edgem wins the opening tip. And Gonzaga goes to work early. Esther Little gets the start. Mott Hybens, Ines Betancourt, Allie Turner, and Yvonne Ejim. The first 5 on the floor, and the Lady Raiders, they will start with Sarangba Sonogo, Jordan Merritt, Bailey Maupin, Logan Johnson, and Jada Wynn, new starting 5 for the Lady Raiders. And here's a foul. Tripping on the foot of Betancourt. Betancourt's going to get called for her first personal foul.
Krista Gerlich with a little change in her starting lineup tonight. There's a good look at the Gonzaga coach, Lisa Fortier.
Year number 11 at Gonzaga. Ranks 5th among active coaches win percentage. And she is the reigning West Coast Conference Coach of the Year. And the preseason favorites in the West Coast Conference once again. A lot of that has to do with Yvonne Ejim. Last year's Player of the Year and the Becky Hammond Player of the Year award winner for the best mid-major player. And rattling home the 3 is Jordan Merritt. Merritt making her 4th start of the season.
Maupin with a great assist there. There's Gonzaga. They're going to play inside, outside.
The freshman got free. Allie Turner knocks it in.
Tech doubling on the post. The post can really pass it for the Zags. You're going to double a post. You got to rotate back to the strong side post.
On the drive is Wynn. Wynn played really well yesterday coming off of the bench.
Lady Raiders getting right to the hoop.
Logan Johnson the bump, and Ejim saves what would have been a Gonzaga turnover.
Snogo is locked on to Ejim.
Little on the drive over to Turner. Shot clock down to 5. Turner finds an open Betancourt for 3. No. Offensive rebound. Yes. The putback does not fall, though, for Ejim, as she'll go to the free throw line. Krista Gerlich, your number 5 at Texas Tech, preseason in the Big 12 this year, picked number 10 after a 17 and 16 season. In the WNIT in 2023.
Krista Gerlich had great success at UT Arlington. Brought a team here to the Virgin Islands a couple years ago. Now her second chance to come in here with this Texas Tech team.
And returning to her alma mater, a national champ back in '93 for Tech. 2 points for Jada Wynn.
They can use Ejim to break the press.
Little on the left wing feeds Ejim. Double comes, rotation late getting to Turner. And Ejim, the offensive rebound, does not get the putback to fall.
Twice now Ejim's got on the glass for the Zags.
Wynn goes right at Turner. And a foul called on Allie Turner.
The Lady Raiders like that matchup in transition. Going right at the freshman Turner. A good look at Allie Turner.
Out of St. Louis, Missouri. Her parents made the trip down. 13 points, 4 assists against Missouri State yesterday.
We were asking around trying to find what her other things she likes to do. We know she's competitive at everything that the team does, but I thought my favorite story is the international player says she really tries to imitate our accents.
She's really good at it.
Actually, yeah, does it quite well.
Which is impressive because there are 7 countries represented on this Gonzaga basketball team. Coming off an NCAA tournament run to the Sweet 16 last year. They were a 4 seed and able to host. A special moment for Coach Fortier and her Bulldogs, and knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with Gonzaga.
Hybins running that middle lane, got a catch and finish. Could have been an easy run out.
Betancourt over to Little.
Good strong post up by Hybins. They like to play some high-low with the 2 bigs.
There's Ejim slicing to the rim.
Big on big back screen.
The drive by Wynn. Now Maupin. Maupin had a great game yesterday. 13 points, 4 assists. Gets a bucket right there.
My favorite part of Maupin, she's giving the official a stare down. She got brushed on the forearm. I love her demeanor.
Well, Coach,
West
you said
Texas
it. That's
tough, man.
Texas tough is right. As you see Yvonne Ejim playing with the plug in one nostril and tape on her wrist. Taped it up today at shoot around. Just needing some extra support today.
She's got a piece of cotton in her left nostril.
Maupin calling for a screen from Sonogo. Gets into the lane, and two more for Maupin.
They try to ice you on the side, and it's called a snake move when you split the two defenders. Maupin with the bounce, got in between them. Mid-range jump shots wide open.
Sonogo tips the pass away, keeps it in play. In transition, oh, Hybens, a great block.
We stick with the play, Hybens, and then now the high-low dump down.
And Hybens draws the foul on Logan Johnson. How about the recovery of Hybens? She was ready to D up Sonogo, and the dump off, and such a quick reaction by Hybens created that block as Ejim will get a breather. Deanna Fritz into the game for Gonzaga. Excuse me, in for Texas Tech. For Gonzaga on the floor is Claire O'Connor.
Sonogo's been really active, long arms, got the steal, almost got the run out there time. The tip on the inbounds pass. Long and wiry, Sonogo can really run, built like a trackster.
There's Merritt. Degree of difficulty was high on that shot.
The Lady Raiders like the one-on-one matchups and been trying to take advantage of them in the paint.
4:40 to play. Lady Raiders by 8 early on. Both teams looking for their first win of the 2024 Paradise Jam. Maupin on one end, Merritt on the other. Some Lady Raider fans making the trip down to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and they're bringing the energy in the late game, Coach.
I thought it might be past their bedtime. They had a party in the stands yesterday, the 6:30 game, especially when they played that YMCA song. But look at the Raiders. We said fast start, 6 of 7 from the field. They knocked in a 3, 11-0 run. Texas Tech, and with 0 turnovers. Great start for the Lady Raiders.
Coach, I know this is game number 20 for you in our 2 weeks down here. Tech had the late game too. Those kids, they're ready to go. Their clocks are set.
They're on West Texas time.
It might be 9:15 here, but it's 7:15 in their world.
Their body clocks have not adjusted.
Merritt for 3. Merritt drives it home.
Inside, outside for Tech, and then the pressure has kept Gonzaga out of rhythm. They want to get in that half court and just play old school high-low power basketball, but the pressure limits that shot clock.
McKinley Dallin on the floor for Gonzaga, had the basket last possession. Jumper from Betancourt does not fall. Adley Blacklock in the game for the Lady Raiders. Shavers with the basketball.
Bad possession for Gonzaga that time. Never got the ball inside the 3. Whoa.
Blacklock, the smooth stroke from the outside.
Coming from everywhere.
Blacklock, a transfer from Oregon State, was in the Elite 18 last season.
The Zags, they need to score so they can set their defense. This pace is too fast. They're backpedaling. Too many misses.
There's the drive by Claire O'Connor. Hybens for 3. Yes, there's a made basket for Gonzaga.
All right, get back and load your defense.
The dump off underneath, pass too tall from Merritt, looking for a cutting Shavers. And Ejim and Turner back onto the floor. And now up off the bench for Texas Tech, Jalen Bristow.
First turnover for the Lady Raiders. Now see the pressure. Watch your shot clock. There's 30 seconds. See how much left on the clock when the Zags get into their offensive half court.
And Ejim calls the block foul. Blacklock took the brunt of it and gets called with the foul.
Do not negate your hustle with a foul at 80 feet from the basket.
And now a technical foul has been charged to Texas Tech's Krista Gerlich.
Came from the other side of the court.
Sarah Williams, Brandon Enterline, Kara Hunter, the officials. Turner to the free throw line.
This could be a huge break for Gonzaga because they were really struggling. They had 2 easy free throws. The freshman steps up there, knocks him down. And now let's see if they can get some touches for Ejim. The pressure was causing lots of problems for the Zags.
Lady Raiders really extend that defense. Here's Ejim working against Blacklock. Blacklock tries to take a charge again, and now O'Connor is going to pick up the foul as Shavers grabs her arm after the scramble.
And Krista Gerlich is still trying to figure out why she got the tee. She keeps staring over. The official's right in front of her. She's staring over here, still trying to get an answer. That official called the tee and wouldn't go near her side of the court.
Shavers, no. Freelon the rebound. There's the takeaway by Betancourt. Pull-up jumper for Turner. And Fritz with the ball on the ground gets tied up. Minute 48 to go here in quarter number 1.
This is the pace that Texas Tech likes. They've got Gonzaga playing faster than they like to.
Coach, how about the high percentage shots Texas Tech is taking? They're shooting 80% as a team.
They were sluggish in that first quarter against Florida State. Long travel schedule for this team.
Betancourt launches the 3. Rebound grabbed by Freelon, loses it, and Gonzaga with the bucket from O'Connor.
Always nice to get some easy ones.
Cuts the Lady Raider lead down to 5. Blacklock guarded by Ejim. Blacklock launches the deep 3, and the long rebound goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulldogs. It'll stay with Texas Tech. Bailey Maupin back into the game for Fritz.
When you play against a high-pressure team like Texas Tech, what you tell your team is you've got to really be solid, passing, catching early. They're going to come out with a lot of energy, but you got to get through that first wave of energy from Texas Tech and then settle into your game plan. Gonzaga starting to settle down a little bit, getting their defense set.
Shot clock at 3. Maupin has to create. And a foul called on Turner on the backside. And that's going to be number 2 on Allie Turner.
Maupin likes the matchup on the freshman.
Turner, the leading scorer with 5 points, is going to have to go to the bench. Esther Little comes in, the senior out of England.
Bailey Maupin knows she's not only stronger than Allie Turner, but she's more experienced. She gets her on the hip, power dribbles, has gotten into the paint a number of times.
Moppin, all Big 12 honorable mention selection. A season ago, 14 points per game, 4 rebounds per contest. She's had 11 points, 2.5 rebounds a contest so far this season, but 14 assists, leads the team.
Big possession here for Gonzaga.
Betancourt goes to work with the game clock at 8. Back to Little, feeds inside. Ejim can't handle the pass. Now Shavers, the half-court shot. No good. 5-point game at the end of 1. The Lady Raiders leading the Bulldogs. 2015 your score, our final game of day number 2. It's the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Texas Tech with a 5-point lead over Gonzaga in our final game of day number 2. Both teams looking for their first win of the Paradise Jam, as Tech lost their first game of the season, falling to Florida State, team receiving votes. And Gonzaga now 4-3, losses to Stanford, Cal, and yesterday to the Missouri State Lady Bears. Betancourt sets up the Gonzaga offense with 11 on the shot clock. Little back to Betancourt. Betancourt takes it in, out to Little, and I think we have a blocking foul called on Shavers underneath as Betancourt came down to land. Shavers slid in there to try and take the charge.
Gonzaga's trying to get their high-low game going with the 2 posts. There's so much pressure on the wings, and they're being physical with the post. They do a roll and replace, and they're so, look at it right there, just leaning on Ejim inside, playing physical with Gonzaga's posts.
Ella Hopkins with it up top. Freshman out of Rochester, Minnesota. Shot clock now down to 3. Ejim launches the 3, banks it in. How about that? Ejim, her 5th made triple, all smiles on the Gonzaga bench.
That's a bailout.
There's the kick out from Merritt. Now Merritt feeds it inside. Sonogo underneath. Keeps it away from Ejim, and Moppin receives the ball from Sonogo. Now Merritt in the lane, off the window. Tech comes into their full court pressure.
Sonogo keeping the possession alive. Sonogo really, watch her in the post on defense, playing really physical with Gonzaga's posts.
Extends Hopkins up top. Betancourt fires the 3. And the foul's going to go on Claire O'Connor. Was on the back of Jada Wynn as she fell to the ground.
Texas Tech up 12 at 1 point early in this game. The fast start, Gonzaga has fought back. Now just down 4, but they're still having trouble getting flow in their offense. The Gonzaga Bulldogs, no rhythm.
Cristobal Osorobo, a freshman from Spain, in for Gonzaga. Adley Blacklock, jumper from the free throw line. And a foul on Sonogo.
Aggressive defensive teams like the Lady Raiders have to really be careful of fouling at the other end of the court. Sonogo couldn't corral the rebound and tried to pressure, reached in and picked up a foul. Look at Sonogo denying Ejim up top.
all the way out by the Paradise Jam logo. Here comes Little, and a travel violation called on Esther Little. Senior out of England, actually played with Cristobal Osorobo from Spain, Ipswich Basketball Academy.
Merritt and Sonogo on the defensive end are doing an excellent job.
Maupin tries to dump it off, and Merritt unable to hold on to it.
Side pick and roll, it was wide open.
Betancourt may have gotten away with a travel there. Looked like she was going to pick it up. Or Ejim, jumper, no. Black block ahead to Maupin.
Gonzaga's got to find ways to score outside their offensive sets.
Blacklock out to Maupin. Great defense by Ejim. Knocked that pass to Merritt away. Head coach Lisa Fortier watching her Zags hang tough with this Lady Raiders defense.
The Bulldogs have been good on defense. They're hitting a dry spell at the offensive end.
There's Merritt at the horn. And Betancourt the rebound, and the foul is going to go on Johnson. Or excuse me, it's going to get called on Wynn. And for Wynn, her first. Third team foul on Texas Tech.
They're trying to pull Sonogo outside the paint with Ejim going out on the perimeter.
Betancourt stepped right into Maupin. It's called for the offensive foul. The transfer from UConn, a native of Portugal. It's going to get a breather. Turner back in with 2.
And they got to get some offense going. They're going to bring Turner back in. Oh, nice defensive play. Was standing there waiting. West Texas tough. It's outside the arc. Sonogo really posting hard. And the mismatch.
Merritt, the spin move blocked by Ejim. Sonogo tries to save it. Turner with the steal. Ejim's gonna try the mid-range shot.
She's knocked out on the post just very few times in this game.
Just 1 of 6 shooting, and a lay-in for Logan Johnson.
They're using Ejim to break the press. And she ends up out here out top offensively. Like she might be more effective to go in the post.
The handoff tipped by Johnson. Turner loses it out of bounds. As Texas Tech gets the basketball back, Merritt gets a breather. Freelon is back on the floor.
Gonzaga now switching into a zone.
Maupin inside to Wynn. Now Johnson to Wynn, fires the 3. Underneath offensive rebound, does not fall for Freelon. And Ejim dribbles across the timeline, and now Turner, shot fake. Gets it to Hybens, misses the 6-footer.
Well, that's the best shot they've had in a few possessions. The pace is slowing down. Both teams are struggling to find the bottom of the net.
It's Texas Tech still shooting better than 50% from the floor. And Now the Zags unable to secure that rebound. Three-pointer, no.
Gonzaga has had multiple opportunities to cut into this league. The pressure defense is really causing problems. Now they've got Ejim inside.
It's just deflected passes, just like that one.
Sanogo's got her arm locked. Sanogo just shoving.
Freelon with the steal. And that's going to go down as a foul on Esther Little. And for Little, her first personal. 3:32 to play brings us to a timeout on the floor. A 6-point lead for Texas Tech. Able to get some high percentage shots, shooting around 50% from the floor. Both teams' defenses playing really strong in quarter number 2. Texas Tech 2 for 10 shooting in this second quarter. Gonzaga just 1 for 5. Twice as many attempts, though, for the Lady Raiders.
Enforcing turnovers.
Maya Pete into the game for Texas Tech. Gets it underneath. Goes up right into Hybens, who had her arms reaching to the ceiling. Gets called for the foul. As you see, Coach Fortier pleading her case that Hybens, her senior out of Netherlands, did a good job of staying straight up.
Well, Pete slid from the high post down to the low block as they reversed the ball. The problem for Gonzaga at the offensive end is the two post players, Ejim, Hybens, a combined 2 for 9 from the field. They're using the post players to break the press. Now we've got 20 seconds left on the shot clock. They're getting to their offensive flow. Oh, there's the high-low. Got her inside.
Ejim had Maupin on the backside, and she got around Ejim to deflect the pass.
Hybens has to throw that pass away from the defense. Maupin was on the left side. Got to throw it to her right hand of Ejim. Been easy catch and finish.
It's Maupin launching the three, and Ejim grabs the rebound. For Ejim, 6 rebounds now. Just 1 of 6 shooting, though.
Well, the one she made was the bank shot 3 from the top of the key. She's got nothing inside for Ejim.
And Turner dropped the pass that was low and down by the ankles.
More pressure from Tech is paying off.
O'Connor in for Osorobo. McKinley Dolan, the sophomore, transfer from Minnesota, into the game.
11 Gonzaga turnovers.
Maupin wants to go to work on the right side. Rebound tipped into Ejim. Now Turner running the floor. And Turner lost it out of bounds. Another TO.
That's the pressure from behind. Knows the speed of the Lady Raiders trying to make a play. Really got caught in no man's land as the 2-on-1. The freshman's got to take that one right to the rim until a defender commits.
Pete on the kick out. Good look from 3. And a foul on Pete.
This is a quarter where both teams are really struggling.
Texas Tech a 6-0 run over the last 7 minutes, but Coach, they have not made any of their last 7 shots. And for Gonzaga, they've missed their last 4 and have had 7 turnovers in the last 7:42.
There we go.
Ejim inside, fouled by Johnson. And I believe we're at the bonus for Ejim to go to the free throw line. And substitutions, Jordan Merritt back into the game. And Danae Fritz returns. Bristow and Johnson to the bench.
Gonzaga finally got Ejim inside on the block. The last couple possessions, they had the one earlier where it was a turnover. Maupin came around and knocked it loose. And this time the foul called, and Ejim, a very good free throw shooter, comes up dry.
8-point lead for Texas Tech. The dump off underneath, and now Texas Tech hit with the turnover bug.
Well, Merritt had the right idea. Need to lob that instead of firing it down to Pete. No, don't stop there.
And was deflected. Turner picks it up and out of the offensive end. 15 on the shot clock.
They've got Turner run the point.
Here's Ejim attacking Pete, dumps it off underneath. Dahlen gets blocked.
The length inside is giving Gonzaga problems. We've had a lot of action here, Brad, but not much scoring.
That one's off the back iron. Just 2 points in the last 3.5 minutes.
Well, this is right now, it's a 6-3 second quarter.
Turner goes inside. Ejim in the lane for two. Well, it wasn't a pretty second quarter, but a huge first quarter for Texas Tech. Has the Lady Raiders in front by 6.
They came out with a lot of aggression at both ends of the court. Were able to knock in some shots. But it's been a struggle here in the second quarter for both teams. If you're Gonzaga, you got to feel pretty good. Hey, we really played poorly. We're down 6 here at halftime.
And joining us now down near the beach zone is Texas Tech head coach Krista Gerlich. Coach, I want to start with the first quarter. 5-point lead at the end of that one. Looked like your Lady Raiders came out with good intensity.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to start better than we did yesterday, and I thought our kids really came out in attack mode and got to the rim and really applied some pressure.
What changed there in the second quarter? You really struggled to find the basket.
Yeah, I mean, they're switching their defenses up a little bit, and we're being a little bit more hesitant. I'm trying to get our kids to continue to attack the basket because we're getting really good things whenever we do that.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time.
Thanks
good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Krista Gerlich, the head coach for the Texas Tech Lady Raiders. 6-point lead here at the half. Coming up, we'll take a look at first half highlights, stats, and a special guest. All coming your way here on day 2 of the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise. 26-20, our score at halftime. Just 11 points total in quarter number 2 as Texas Tech scored 6, Gonzaga scored 5. Alongside the coach Kevin Lehman, we are courtside here on campus at the University of the Virgin Islands. We're on St. Thomas Island, and Coach, this is the 25th Jam-iversary, and right here on day 2, we've got 4 games tomorrow, 1 more game today. We've got this really nice Christmas ornament that we got from the wonderful family that has welcomed us into their world here at the Paradise Jam, and really excited about putting this on the Christmas tree. We were talking about earlier today that my girls back home are cutting down, and let's bring in Nels Hawkinson, CEO of Basketball Travelers, who started with this dream of the Paradise Jam. Nels, first of all, thank you very much for this ornament. Absolutely love it, and I absolutely love this Paradise Jam. How did this all get started?
Well, came on a cruise ship about 27 years ago with my still longtime business partner. The wives went shopping. My business partner Neil and I said, hey, let's just check out the campus. At that time, where this arena was an Air Force hangar that the windows were blown out. The floor was completely useless with all the warpage. And I said to him, I turned to him and said, you know what? We're going to do something here one day. And he looked at me and goes, I just don't see it. But it's just the people. You know, we had a great cab driver, we had a great waitress, and you know how anybody listening on the broadcast, when you know something just has to happen, whatever that is, and I just said, we got to give this a shot. I got turned down by the athletic director at that time, who went on to be the head of the U.S. Olympic Committee for the Virgin Islands. I still stuck with it. We had it at a high school in our first year in 2000, Eudora Kent High School, and we had Jackie Stiles, who was modern-day Caitlin Clark, and so she put up 44 and 40. And tomorrow night, actually, we're going to have Missouri State, which is South Missouri State at that time, play against Texas Tech in a repeat of the championship game of 25 years ago. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely, Nels. Thank you so much for joining us here. And so excited, and congrats on 25 years. It's been an excellent tournament, and excited for the next 4 games and this final half here on day 2. Nels Hawkinson, Basketball Travelers CEO, a 6-point lead. As we'll step aside, come back. More from the University of the Virgin Islands when we return.
You got the tickets?
Vivid Seats, the only ticket.
Day 2 halfway done for Gonzaga and Texas Tech. A 6-point lead for the Lady Raiders over the Zags here in St. Thomas Island. And we're still going strong. Coach, you got 20 more minutes in you, right?
Oh, it's been great basketball. I can go all night long.
I love it. I love it. Let's go back over to the beach zone. Another guest joining us here at the half, an assistant coach for Florida State, Desmond Thomas Batiste. Desmond, thanks a lot for joining us in your 2nd year with the Seminoles. 11 straight NCAA tournaments. Talk about what you are trying to build with Coach Wyckoff and company.
We want to get it done. We want to continue with the legacy here at Florida State, especially when it started with Coach Wyckoff. And we want to bring a fantastic brand of basketball to what we do. And then we're adding that a fast-paced defense as well. We want to be aggressive on both ends of the floor.
Desma, you played at Miami. You're a Hurricane Hall of Famer. Talk about how you can relate to players yet today, and a trip like this. How many times have you been down to the Virgin Islands for the Paradise Jam?
This is my 2nd Paradise Jam with 2 different schools, so it's been great as an opportunity to come back home and share a little bit of my hometown with my team. So it's been great. But yeah, we're trying to really do some great things. We're wanting to build on what we are now doing, and then just get better each and every day.
Desmond, tell us about your international recruiting, how that pipeline got started, because you have a number of foreign players on your squad.
Right. It's been a great asset for our program, especially with Coach Wyckoff. She's played overseas, I played overseas. And so it's been a great addition to our program. It's definitely diversified us with having some international players that can do a few different things that are really skilled, and it definitely upgrades what we're capable of doing.
Well, Desmond, thank you so much for joining us here at the half, and good luck tomorrow. Your Seminoles 2-0, and we'll take on Gonzaga tomorrow in the late game.
That is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Desmond Thomas Batiste, Florida State assistant coach, joining us here at the half. We'll step aside and come back. 20 more minutes of college hoops coming your way from the U.S. Virgin Islands when we return. Here's a look at your Domino's first half statistics. As a good first quarter wiped out by that second quarter that we won't mention any further, Coach, I promise.
Well, there's the pressure down at the bottom, the turnovers. Gonzaga with 12.
Here's a look at your Domino's first half statistics. As a good first quarter wiped out by that second quarter that we won't mention any further, Coach, I promise.
Well, there's the pressure down at the bottom, the turnovers. Gonzaga with 12, Texas Tech with just 5. That's been the difference in this game. And I thought Sonogo and Merritt in the post for Texas Tech, really physical with the post players of Gonzaga. They've held Hybens and Ejim 3 of 10 shooting, total of 9 points. They're averaging 30 together, and they've held them to 9 here in the first half.
And the defense was strong in quarter number 2. Can the coaches make adjustments to create some scoring opportunities? Just 11 points combined in quarter number 2. 5 for Gonzaga, 6 for Texas Tech. And it's a 6-point lead after Tech led by 5 at the end of 1. And begins with the basketball. Maupin, Johnson, Sonogo, Merritt, and Jada Wynn. The starters back on the floor. And for Gonzaga, the same: Little, Hybens, Betancourt, Turner, and Ejim. Your first 5 out here in the third quarter. Johnson gets the putback for 2.
Second chance rebound. Johnson knew she missed it, went right back up, got the easy basket. Again, physicality inside has been a problem for the Bulldogs.
Turner picks up her dribble.
Keep having to use Ejim to break the pressure, and it's taken away from her effectiveness of scoring inside. There's the high-low.
Hybens fires the 3. Rebound, ping-pongs around to Win.
Now, yesterday, they started the game with Maupin as the off guard. They started Fritz. Today, it's been Maupin running the point.
And Maupin finds Merritt all alone underneath the basket.
Maupin able to fight through those double teams. There we go.
Oh, Ejim, a nice feed. Hybens for 2.
Post-to-post passing, that is what the Zags try to get into. That time in transition, Ejim able to bring it down and dump it over the top. That's the easiest basket that Zags have gotten this game.
Johnson gets all the way to the rim. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Sonogo. Oh no, they say last touch by Gonzaga as Betancourt.
Sonogo is out of Odessa College. That's also West Texas.
Looks like Betancourt got popped in the nose. She's still kind of wincing with almost tears in her eyes. There's Wynn. Shot clock down to 1, and they wave it off. Shot clock violation. And they'll rack it into the video monitor, and they'll take a look at it at the next media timeout. But for now, wave it off. Still just an 8-point lead for the Lady Raiders. Betancourt threading the needle. Hybens now underneath. To Little in the lane.
Gonzaga more aggressive against the press, trying to score at the end.
Maupin blocked by Little. Into the game is Danae Fritz, the junior out of Maryville, Tennessee. A one-time Iowa State Cyclone turned Baylor Bear, now Texas Tech Lady Raider. Maupin's had to create a lot on the offensive end. And Maupin gets a bucket. 6 points for Maupin. She demands a lot of attention, though, on the offensive end.
Great example of playing with your feet on the floor. Drive it to the middle. Jump stop at 6 feet. You got an opportunity to pass it or go up for the jump shot. That is basketball 101 by Maupin. Directing traffic. Now drive it hard. That jump stop. On balance. She's done the snake move and gotten to the right side in the first half. That time, drive it middle, pull up jumper.
Betancourt to Hybens. Ejim was open for a moment. Little launches the three. Now Ejim the offensive rebound. Out to Turner.
Gotta find a way to get Ejim touches. Sonogo is so physical. She just locked on to Ejim.
And Betancourt threw it away. Threw a blind pass over her shoulder. Right to Fritz. Now backdoor cut, mopping the kick out, win. The three is short. And now Fritz flying in there to knock that away. Flies right into medial row. Lucky it was one table down. That almost came right at us.
I would have saved you. I would have gave my body up for that one. Took the charge. You got to get home that Christmas tree.
Decided to put my new ornament up on the tree, and now a timeout taken by Lisa Fortier and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Down 10, 6:19 to play, third quarter. We'll be back. It's our final game of the day. Texas Tech, Gonzaga looking for their first win of the 2024 Paradise Jam. (32-22) is our score. The shot clock violation that was called on the Texas Tech offensive end was confirmed at the monitor during the break. And so we march on. Here is Ejim. Kicks it out to Little. Little just hounded by Wynn. That Lady Raider defense making it tough on the Zags offensively.
Well, Ejim sees the double coming and is throwing it a little too quick for my liking. I'd like to see her be more aggressive inside. But she's trying to play team basketball. Got to get a little selfish. Your team needs you to score.
Coach, we saw her at the shoot around, really coaching the team up. Coach Fortier asked her a few times, Yvonne, what went wrong? What are we doing? What do we need to do to fix it? She had all the answers. As Turner left the shot short. Oh, in transition, the pass ahead to Freelon. Somehow collected that to put it in.
Great catch by Freelon. That ball was at her ankles, running full speed, able to snatch it and finish.
Now Hybens over to the right block. Turner shot fake, deep two, no good, and Ejim keeps it in play. Great rebound by Yvonne Ejim. Turner, an open look for three. Too strong. Turner, 1 of 3 from outside, just 5 points.
This has been baptism for the freshman, baptism by fire. Physicality, speed of Texas Tech is a problem for the Gonzaga, for the entire team, has struggled.
And Shavers with her first points of the game. On the drive is the sophomore O'Connor. And a timeout on the floor, 4:29 to play. Third quarter marches on after this. Texas Tech, a 14-point lead, is their largest of the game. Can Gonzaga make a push in the second half like they did yesterday? We'll be back, more Paradise Jam action right here on ESPN+. O'Connor steps up to the free throw line for Gonzaga, facing their largest deficit of the game. O'Connor now with 3 points. Sophomore played 30 games a season ago as a freshman. Had 10.6 rebounds against New Mexico in the final game before the Paradise Jam. It was an interesting trip for Gonzaga. Left on Saturday, played at New Mexico on Sunday, 181-68. Here's Fritz off the glass. A second attempt. That one gets blocked, and Blacklock tracks it down right along the sideline.
The Tech looked a little tired yesterday, that trip in from Albuquerque.
Well, Gonzaga, yeah, from New Mexico went to Atlanta. Flew to Atlanta after the game. Spent 2 days in Atlanta, explored, saw the Martin Luther King Museum, went to an Atlanta Hawks game.
Oh, wow.
Tuesday,
good trip.
Tuesday flew to St. Thomas. Wednesday, a catamaran ride and practice. Shavers the run out right now, taking it to the Zags. It's a 17-point lead for Texas Tech.
Well, Gonzaga has struggled against the physicality, and Tech just keeps bringing in. They've got 4 frontline bodies. Sonogo and Merritt started, then they brought in Freelon and Pete. All 4 have been extremely physical with the front line of Gonzaga.
And Coach, a tournament like this, 3 games, 3 days, that kind of depth really gives you a good ability to stay fresh.
And they're going to see that at the end of the season when you get in your conference tournament. You may have to play 3 games in 3 days. Short prep, quick turnarounds, and a lot of scouting reports on chalkboards through film and lobby walkthroughs.
There's Ejim on the drive.
There you go.
Ejim off the window.
Got her the ball at 15 where she can get what we call, she's a 2-bouncer right to the rim.
8 points, 9 rebounds now for Yvonne Ejim. Puts her officially into a double-double watch. Comes up with a steal, throws it ahead to Betancourt. Gonzaga running the floor. Skip pass over to Osaroso. Osorobo missed it. Now Shavers. The drive, and Shavers off the glass. She has 9.
Transition offense for Tech, especially off misses and turnovers. Their team speed has been exceptional.
Ejim looking for answers as Lady Raiders continue to build on their largest lead. 17 was the latest as Ejim cuts it down a pair.
They're getting her the ball in her, what we call the honey spot, right there in the elbow where she can beat you off the bounce.
Blacklock has such a smooth looking shot.
Punch off the bench, the Lady Raiders. Take it right to the basket.
Ejim tried to dump it across the lane to Dahlin.
Sometimes Yvonne Ejim is too unselfish to a fault. But she still puts up huge numbers.
We'll go the other way on the turnover. Mopping back into the game, and Sarangbe Sanogo, 6'3" junior from Paris, France, 6th in the country with her 19 blocks coming into this tournament.
What a journey that Sanogo has had. Paris, France, and you went somewhere in Kansas, and then she ends up at Odessa.
Started at Northwest Kansas Technical College, played with her sister Mimi, and then both went to Odessa College together. Mimi now at Canisius. So they saw a road to education through basketball and took advantage of it. There's the 3 from Turner.
Well, that had to be a cultural shock for Sanogo. If you've been to Odessa, West Texas, there's some tumbleweeds and a lot of oil refineries, so oil pumps. Oil wells, I think, is the actual term.
It's like a different kind of.
She's been good.
There's Moppin.
So under control, Moppin.
Was it tipped by Moppin or no? No, it was not. Texas Tech gets it back. Oil refineries look kind of like the Eiffel Tower, don't they?
Well, I think those are You know, the wells, they refine
The
it somewhere
oil
else.
pumps.
I got a son that's an archaeologist, and he's had to work in West Texas doing the archaeological digs when the oil pipelines come through.
Is he becoming West Texas tough?
No,
like mopping?
He was not West Texas tough from the stories he told me. He's dealing with a couple of those dudes. And they're very protective of their ranches in West Texas. They don't like those pipelines coming through.
Here's Bristow, final seconds of the third quarter. Hybens with the rebound, and the defense of Sunogo will only allow Hybens to dribble out the third quarter. 48-31 the score, a 17-point lead. Texas Tech cranking it up, getting it going in half number 2. Fourth quarter when we come back. This is the Paradise Jam. Fourth quarter begins. Texas Tech and Gonzaga. Coach, the Zags outscored Missouri State 24-13 in the opener here at the Paradise Jam. Now Texas Tech, however, their defense has been so good today and yesterday. They held the nation's leading scorer, Florida State, team averaging 100 points to a season low 70. 30 points under their average. Here's Bristow with a jumper. And the rebound grabbed by Osorobo, and a jump ball is called. Osorobo gets tied up.
Our post interview with Brooke Wyckoff, the Florida State coach, really felt good about beating this Tech team and just raved about how good Tech was. The defensive pressure, the length, the athleticism. It's all causing problems for Gonzaga today. Been relentless pressure.
Gonzaga leading scorer, Edgem, 10 points, 9 rebounds. And she is on the bench getting a breather. Allie Turner with 8, averages 13 a game. She is in there trying to find a few openings for this Zags offense.
The Lady Raiders have shut off the faucet. Gonzaga's offense.
And Hybens misfires. Gonzaga 4 of 13, just under 33% shooting from the floor. They're 32% as a team from the floor.
I've been impressed by 2 players on this Tech team. They're all good, but I've really been impressed by Sunogo inside. The physicality he started the game with on Ejim, not letting him get in a position. And Moffitt has got the whole thing under control.
Oh, Maupin goes up into the lane.
If you want to play point guard, watch number 20 and right. Always under control.
Blacklock wanted that takeaway. Substitutions now. Here comes Yvonne Ejim. And O'Connor into the game. Little checks out, as does Dallin.
Maupin's always under control, especially when she sees pressure coming. Has really orchestrated this offense for Tech.
Ejim takes it all the way. Oh, and an offensive foul. Maupin takes the charge.
Maupin's playing like she's got 3 lungs. Came out of that timeout in the zone. Gonzaga did.
Blacklock fires the 3. Maupin commits the foul on the rebound. For Maupin, that's her first. Allie Turner, just a freshman. of St. Louis, Missouri. John Burroughs High School was West Coast Conference Freshman of the Week when she had 18 points against Stanford and 18 against Montana. As Osorobo gets fouled tonight for Turner, 8 points, 2 rebounds.
That's what's good about this tournament. She's seeing some sort of pressure in athletes he probably hasn't seen before. We know how good Stanford is. They don't play with probably the same athletic speed and pressure that they're seeing here from this Tech team.
Osorobo, freshman from Spain. Second free throw does not fall, and here comes Johnson. Full head of steam, and Johnson gets fouled by Turner. Texas Tech up 19 with under 8 to play here in quarter number 4. Ivana Krajina in the game for Tech. Ejim gets called for the foul, trying to tip it away from Bristow. Ivana Krajina played at Odessa College with Sonogo last season. Both were junior college All-Americans.
Good recruiting connection out there in West Texas for the Lady Raiders out of Lubbock.
O'Connor pounded by Sonogo. Now Hybens, somebody's got to be open. There's Turner for 3, and Turner knocks it in. Into double digits, 11 points now for Allie Turner.
Good composure. Gonzaga's been playing that sliding zone, trying to put pressure on the ball.
3-point attempt for Bristow, and Ejim with the rebound. That should be a double-double, 10 points, 10 boards for Yvonne Ejim.
Been a quiet double-double.
Osorobo, that is out of bounds. As for Yvonne Ejim now, 30th career double-double.
Ejim has had to work hard for that double-double. Big, strong front line. Lady Raiders just kept bringing bodies, fresh bodies to battle Ejim, who's considered the best mid-major player in the nation.
And the reigning Becky Hammond's trophy winner that goes to the best mid-major player. 2 more for Tech. 52-34. And
well, they've used her at point forward here in this game to break the press. Use her to inbound the basketball. You play all 5 positions.
and that's a kick on Texas Tech, but Gonzaga with 3 seconds to get the ball over half court. Court just does it. Although Texas Tech's bench was saying it should have been a 10-second violation, I think with the kick, it may have reset. Here's Hybens.
Oh, good rebound. There's some coaching right there. Ejim in the huddle.
Always talking, always communicating.
Gonna go to med school.
She's gonna save some lives when she is done with basketball. Pre-med major. Imagine that, coach. You've been an assistant coach, having an athlete pre-med, tough classes, tough schedule.
I'm trying to think if I've had any players that were pre-med even as a head coach. Because I was at Omaha, they had a great medical school there. A number of the women on the girls team for the Mavericks went on to med school. University of Nebraska Med School in downtown Omaha.
Pass is tipped. Turner with the steal, and then the takeaway right back. Bristow wants to attack Ejim. Ejim with the block and the rebound.
Yeah, Ejim doing a little bit of everything. I mentioned yesterday she's got a brother, Melvin Ejim, plays for the Canadian Olympic team, had a great career at Iowa State.
Bristow grabs the rebound. Yvonne herself played for the Canadian Olympic team this past year. She's going to have a bright future with that if she continues to play. Travel called on Krina.
Now she'll either have a decision when she graduates, whether go on to med school or go play some basketball, make some money playing hoops.
They do pay doctors pretty well, too.
Well,
so.
yeah, I'm just saying she may delay it.
She will, yeah.
She may delay it for a couple years.
It's Jada Wynn knocking that pass out of bounds, and with 4:57 to play, we will step aside. 52-36 is our score. Coming down the home stretch here today, number 2. Texas Tech in control. Gonzaga. Can they throw one more punch? Find out after this. The 2024 U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam rolls on. Texas Tech a 16-point lead over Gonzaga, as it was big first quarters and third quarters for Texas Tech. 20-15 in the first, 20-11 outscoring the Zags in quarter number 3.
The Tech wants more consistency. If you look at that second quarter, they were running in mud, only 6 points for the Lady Raiders. So you got 20 points in the first, 6 in the second, 22 in the third. And remember yesterday, they opened up with a really bad, I think 4 points in the first half in that game against Florida State. They need to get more consistency throughout the full 40 minutes.
Coach Gonzaga with a big fourth quarter yesterday as Shavers with the steal but misses the layup. They've got it in them, but they've got to come up with some baskets, hit their shots, and they've got to come up with stops. Turner gets it started with a 3.
And they can't turn it over. Every possession is going to be precious for Gonzaga to make a comeback.
Fritz on the kick out. Shavers with the answer. Tech with their 6th made 3.
Lady
in
Raiders,
this game.
they're real comfortable right now, Brad. They're feeling real comfortable in their offense. Their defense is giving them energy to the offensive end.
Turner's pass tipped away. There's a takeaway. Jordan Merritt now running to the offensive end of the floor, gets bumped by Hybens, and we'll have 2 free throws coming at the 3:40 mark.
The Tech has gone 12 deep. They played 12 players today, and there's been no let up with their pressure when the bench comes in.
Jordan Merritt missed a couple games this season. Well, in terms of being kind of fully healthy, still kind of getting back into her full rhythm.
Well, she's got 14 points. Really active on the top of the press.
And here's a foul underneath. This goes on Freelon.
Well, Freelon's been physical inside the entire game, and a little surprised on that call as she looks at the official. We've been doing this all day, battling inside, physical play.
So to the free throw line, McKinley Dallin, sophomore out of Montesano, Washington, went to the University of Minnesota for a season and then decided to come back home. That may have been blocked by Ejim and then knocked out of bounds by Freelon.
Tech can take their post players and put them on the front of the press. They got great length, speed.
Jump ball is called possession arrow, favors Tech.
Freelon is really long. She gets on the top of that press, those arms, and her ability to get to the first trap. And she understands the angle and how to make yourself look big. The wings and the arms extended.
Texas Tech, that defense coach too. It just comes start to finish. Once Tech says we're applying that pressure, it's coming from everyone. Betancourt misses the layup. Offensive putback for O'Connor draws a foul. And now free throws for Claire O'Connor.
Well, Krista Gerlich's got to feel really good about this performance today. A good bounce back, a tough loss against Florida State. And you said this has been a long journey for them as they played in Albuquerque against New Mexico, then made the trip into Atlanta for a couple days, and now here in the U.S. Virgin Islands for 3 games in 3 days.
And the Zags have been tested this season. 2 losses coming into the tournament at Stanford and against Cal. And when talking with Coach Fortier, she said, you play against Stanford, they will show you your weakness. And she said it was really bad decisions and just execution and spacing. And against Cal, it was spacing and then pace of play. And
that was Gonzaga that made that trip to New Mexico.
Yep, New Mexico right before coming here.
And the Missouri State game yesterday.
Lost by 1. Valiant comeback that fell short.
And for Tech, it was yesterday's their first game away from home. Washington State at home in Lubbock.
Nice back cut by Dahlin, but it gets erased underneath.
Had my schedules mixed up for a second. Game number 24s.
4 more to go tomorrow, partner.
It's been a blast. Great basketball, both the men's and the women's divisions.
At day 1, 2 one-point games. Today we had a 3-point win by Kansas over UNI, a 3-point shot that would have forced overtime that bounced on the rim about 4, 5, 6 times and rolled off and out.
Yeah, Maya McDermott. As Northern Iowa was trying to get their second win over a Big 12 team, they'd already beaten a top 10 team at Iowa State.
Here's another look. Auburn wins at 82-50. A double-double for Deanna Gaston, 28 and 10. And Kansas hangs on, 25 and 6 for Nichols, 7 assists. And then Florida State, 97 points. The Missouri State's 66. 4 Seminoles in double figures. Timpson, 18 points, 12 rebounds. Latson, 21 points, 7 boards. As Linthicum led Missouri State with 11 points. As a look at the final day in Paradise. UNI Pitt to get it started. Auburn and Kansas in game number 2. Both of those teams 2-0 over in the Island Division. Texas Tech will play Missouri State at 6:30. That's 5:30 Eastern. And Gonzaga, Florida State at 9 o'clock local time, 8 o'clock Eastern time for the final game of the day. So Tech, after today, coach will be 1-1. Missouri State 1-1. Florida State will be 2-0. And Gonzaga will fall to 0-2 here in the Paradise Jam heading into the final day.
In the past, they've used for the tiebreaker, it's been margin of victory, total margin of victory. If there is a tie, so we have the Island Tournament and the Reef Tournament.
Fritz from the free throw line makes it a 20-point lead into the game. Bird Martin, 6'2" freshman from San Antonio, Texas. On the floor, as well as Kelly Mora, the 6'1" sophomore from Lubbock, Texas. Leads him inbounds to Little. Turner out to the corner. 3 on the way for O'Connor. And it's good, and a timeout taken by Lisa Fortier for Gonzaga, minute 42.
Good ball reversal against the press. Good spacing. Lady Raiders are going to continue to press. Some outstanding performances in this game and the others. Well, Ejim got the double-double for Gonzaga. And Texas Tech, they've really spread the wealth around. Merritt with 14, Maupin with 10.
Shavers with 12.
3 in double figures.
Blacklock, 3 3-pointers. Just not look what you're talking about, Coach.
Yeah, there's the trap. Stay in that weak side corner. It's a long recovery on the kick out.
The splash by the beach zone.
Good looking shot.
So 62-45. Big first quarter, big third quarter for Texas Tech. Both teams with 14 points here in the fourth.
That was a big third quarter for Texas Tech. They came out at halftime, made a couple adjustments on the ball screens. As Krista Gerlich explained to us in our halftime interview today, they had to make some adjustments, and they did.
Bird Martin, the kick out.
Bird Martin's
now
open the corner.
Out to Martin for 3, yes. Bird Martin with her first points of the season.
Oh, that's got the bench excited.
And Martin fighting for the takeaway. Will
Big
get
smile
called for
on
the
her-
foul.
look at the smile on her face. That does wonders for your locker room and raises the energy level in your practice sessions. Connected team, the Lady Raiders.
First career bucket for Bird Martin, redshirted last year after she joined the program in January as an early enrollee, 4-time All-Stater out of San Antonio, Texas.
Got a good nickname too. That's a basketball player's nickname.
And you got to be a good shooter if you're Bird. Was a top 65 recruit, number 7 out of the state of Texas, a 4-star kid. That could be the first of many points for the Lady Raiders.
They've got some talent and depth on this team. Will be interesting to watch and follow the Lady Raiders throughout when they get in the Big 12 play.
Claire O'Connor into double figures after the trip to the free throw line. 11 points now for O'Connor, who came off the bench today. Near takeaway, and Blacklock from the corner. Rebound grabbed underneath by Johnson as Achol Magat, sophomore, into the game. born in Sudan.
Well, we've seen a number of teams that have gone international recruiting, Texas Tech being one. Gonzaga also has gone international, and we talked at halftime with the assistant coach of Florida State about their international connections.
Under 30 seconds here to play. Blacklock drive. Pass to Mora, and Kelly Mora with her first field goal of the season. Timeout taken, 18-7, and look at that celebration right there.
Kelly Mora, she almost got ran over by her teammates.
Mora in 15 games last year averaged 3 points per game. She can go get buckets.
Oh, good for her. That looked a nice looking shot in rhythm. Watch this now. There's the bird from the corner. The bench going up and down, excited. Her teammates. I got dish right there. Catch and finish. More like, hey, I've been there before. It's not that big a deal. She made that look really, really easy. Nice to see the smiles on their faces. And for the Zags, they'll live to fight another day. Great run last year, 32 wins. A record for wins for Gonzaga.
Turner misfires on the three. Martin saves it. O'Connor on the attempt. This is for deep two, and it banks home. Final basket from Ella Hopkins, the freshman out of Minnesota. And 67-49 is going to be the final. Texas Tech gets the win. And is now 1-1 in the Reef tournament. Gonzaga falls to 0-2. Coach, that Texas Tech defense just had Gonzaga scrambling from start to finish. As joining us now is head coach Krista Gerlich. Let's get coach's thoughts on this. Krista, that defense really put the pressure on Gonzaga start to finish. They looked uncomfortable.
Well, that was our plan. I mean, we've got to make them uncomfortable because they shoot the ball so well. And their post player is just so good. So I thought our girls did a great job from start to finish.
I was really impressed by the physicality of your post players up front. Sonogo, Merritt, Freelon, Pete, they really were physical with the front line of Gonzaga.
I thought they did a really good job of just not letting the post have a direct feed. And then we had some great backside help and ball pressure as well. So I really was pleased with our game plan and how they followed it.
Coach, thank you so much,
Thank
and we'll
you.
see you tomorrow.
Sounds great.
All right, Texas Tech and Missouri State will meet tomorrow, 6:30 local time, 5:30 Eastern time, in what will be a rematch of the inaugural Paradise Jams championship game. The Lady Raiders and the Lady Bears. And joining us now for the Lady Raiders is Jordan Merritt, grad senior at 6'3" out of Plano, Texas. Led the team in scoring 14 points. Jordan, talk about the defense. What's the mentality when you guys are out there defensively?
You know, we just want to get out there and apply as much pressure on our offense. I mean, our press offense as possible, across the defense as possible. Just try to control the pace of the game. Don't let them speed us up. Don't let them slow us down. Just try to, dictate and dominate everything. And that's been our motto this whole year.
We watched Bird Martin and Kelly Moore get their first points of the season. Why did the bench get so excited for those two players?
Bird, she's our freshman, so that's her first points that she had. And then Kelly, we just go all in for Kelly every time she gets an opportunity to step on the floor. She knocks down shots. So, we're just really proud of her, just trying to instill that confidence in her so she can keep going.
Well, Jordan, it's been a fun few days. Tell us a little bit about, I heard you guys had a Thanksgiving dinner together on Wednesday and then got a catamaran ride earlier in the day.
Yes. It was beautiful. The meal was amazing. We had a great time. Everybody went across the room. We shared what they're thankful for. A little hard being away from family, but, this is our family. So we're able to connect and bond. And then the the trip in the water, we got to see turtles and stingrays and just things that we're not used to seeing in Lubbock, Texas. So it was awesome. A little change of scenery for sure.
Well, congrats on the win and leading
Thank
the team
you.
with 14 points. Go enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
All right, Jordan Merritt, grad senior out of Plano, Texas, leading Texas Tech with 14 points in a 67-49 victory, mopping an excellent game as well for the Lady Raiders. For the coach, Kevin Lehman, and our entire crew, we say so long from St. Thomas Island as day 2 is complete. Join us for 4 games tomorrow, Saturday the 30th. UNI and Pitt, Auburn and Kansas, Texas Tech and Missouri State, and Florida State will battle Gonzaga. Catch it all on ESPN+. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN.